G'day guys, welcome to the latest episode of Beyond the Tape, a potty where we chat to people doing around things in the mountain bike industry. In this one we are chatting with a new-ish young talent from Australia. She's absolutely been killing it in 23 and 2024 is going to be a huge year for her as she joins a new team. Before we jump in too far, I'd like to thank some of our supporters. Trek Bikes, those guys have jumped back on for 24, absolutely loving my Fuel EX and the bikes those guys do. So jump over to trekbikes.com.au and you can get them online now as well, which is rad. Frank Mountain Bike Apparel is keeping me clothed. Absolutely love their kit. Their riding shorts and pants are the most comfortable things I've ever worn. Actually wore them most of the time while I was moving, hence why this episode is a bit late as well. Jump over there and use Beyond the Tape to get a discount. Shred, Bike Care are the same. Use Beyond Tape over there to get a discount on some of the best cleaning products I've ever used. Use it to clean the house and stuff as I was moving, so it's absolutely best for everything. The only thing I haven't done is wash my hair with it, and that's probably a good thing. Fist handwear are keeping my hands protected. Absolutely loving the Breezer gloves as it is tipping 38 degrees here at the moment. Keep all the air coming through while keeping my hands protected. And again, use the code Beyond the Tape for a bit of a discount over there. Lead Out Sports are offering the best tools on the market and some of the best components with Unite. Absolutely frothing their pedals still. It's like being clipped in, but you can still put a foot out when you're going flat out. Capped out caps are keeping the stem looking good on my bike and keeping it attached. Love their custom caps. Make sure you hit them up if you've got something for your event or your team or your shop that you want to get printed. Oakley, keeping my eyes protected as per usual. Absolutely love their glasses and goggles. Anyway, that's enough of the plugging. Sacha Mills is on for this one. We talk about the first kind of year overseas, joining a new team, world champs, and a bunch of other things like injuries, etc. So as per usual, grab beer, grab a water, grab a wine, grab whatever makes you happy and enjoy the podcast.
Got my cat sitting next to me.
Oh, sick. Yeah, I think who was it? Anna Newkirk did it with her cat, and it was like knocking stuff off in the kitchen and stuff, like while she was recording. It was great.
Yeah, I'm hoping he just sleeps and doesn't go onto the keyboard.
Should be right. I can fix it in post.
Yeah.
Easy. You want to jump straight in then and get started?
I guess so. Don't really know what else to do.
Yeah, fair enough. Well, easy as. Sacha Mills, welcome to the podcast.
Thanks for having me.
That's all right. Some people may remember you were called Sasha Kim at one of the World Cups by Ben Cathro at one stage.
Yeah.
And then there was Sasha Ernest this year, absolutely ripping. So basically what I've derived is that if someone has a kid, they should call them Sasha so they can be good at mountain bikes.
There's a few Sashas in the sport.
How was it having Ben Cathro mention your name after that World Cup race?
Kind of unreal because I've always been, watching the pink bike stuff and all that. And then my name's on there and I'm like, oh, wow, that's kind of cool. But,
yeah, sick. So I guess for those who don't know, who are you and what do you kind of do?
What was that? Sorry.
For those who don't know, who are you and what do you do?
Well, my name's Sacha Mills. I'm a downhill mountain biker in my second year of under 19s at the moment. And I'm doing World Cups this year, so full season of World Cups. That's basically my main part in the sport, I guess. But,
How long have you been riding for?
I've been riding a bike since I was 5.
Okay.
So yeah. BMX, started with BMX, and then I've kind of always done mountain biking, but then when I was about 11, I kind of switched over.
Okay.
So, yeah.
What drew you into bikes? Were you racing BMX and stuff or?
Yeah, so with BMX, I probably raced for about, I don't know how many years it was, but quite a few years. We went world champs in that nearly every year, and I always finaled and stuff. But my dad got me and my brother into it because he did it when he was a kid. So kind of just went from there.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I love how you just randomly I just went to world champs and got into finals.
Like, best result was second, but yeah.
That's still pretty sick.
Yeah.
What age were you starting to go overseas and compete, or competing at worlds? And
I think my first worlds was when I was like 6, 7, around then. Can't remember. It was in New Zealand. The first one was New Zealand. I got 5th. Yeah. 5th.
Most kids are kind of learning to ride at that stage. So
we were kind of straight into it, because I was pretty good in the country, so I just kept going up levels, I guess. So.
Yeah.
I think world champs, I went 5th, 4th, 3rd, 2nd, 4th, 7th, and then I stopped.
Okay. Never quite got that first, eh?
I got really close a few times, but never got it. But
what was that? What drew the switch from BMX to mountain bike?
Well, we always did trips to New Zealand and stuff because we had family there and we'd ride there, and we'd always kind of been on the mountain bikes. We didn't race, and then I just kind of liked it more. And then we did a few local rounds downhill, and then I did Cannonball. I think it was 2018 was my first Cannonball, and then I was like, oh, I kind of like this better, so I just started doing that more instead, and then just was like, I can't do BMX anymore. I don't like it as much. It's too stressful, kind of. It's very, you have to have a good mental state for BMX, I think.
Okay. How's it kind of differ?
Well, BMX, you have 7 other riders on the gate with you, and you're bar to bar kind of, oh, Dad's coming. Bar to bar, like with other riders, like it's tough. And then you in practice, you overseas, you have like other kids, and they'll be like, oh, she's fastest in her country, and they'll like try and target you in practice and stuff, and it's just kind of a bit toxic in a way. And you have all the parents, like kids that are like 5 years old. A lot of the parents can be quite hard on the other kids. Like my parents were pretty good, I'm lucky for that, but some of these BMX parents are scary. But yeah, I don't know,
yeah, I've come across a few of those BMX dads.
Yeah.
And you're just like, this is too intense, man. Dial it back.
Yeah, you find that mountain biking, you don't have to worry about everyone else. It's all on you. So you just go down the track, put in the best lap you can, and let the time take care of itself, basically. So you don't have to worry about getting knocked off by other people and trying to battle for the win.
Was it kind of less pressure in some ways because it's all down to you as well? Like, it's you versus the track, and if something happens, it's on you. So there's you can kind of understand that more.
Yeah, it's all on you. You don't have to think about anyone else, basically. Just in your own little world, going down the hill.
And did all your skills and stuff kind of translate across?
Yeah, I think it's definitely made me better like jumper, and I'm better at corners and stuff. Just all the skills kind of transferring across to the downhill kind of aspect of everything, I guess. But yeah, that really helps with the base skills for everything. It's like I know how to handle a bike and stuff.
Mm-hmm. So. I know a few like my BMX mates, like they went from the little bike to the big bike, and it took them a long time to realize how fast they can hit rocks because they were so used to their little wheels that once they got on the big bike with big suspension, they realized you can just plow through stuff.
Yeah. Well, I guess I'm also lucky that I also had done mountain biking a lot while I was doing BMX. So I also knew kind of how to control a bigger bike as well. And did a little bit of motocross when I was a kid. Not too much, but.
Okay.
Yeah.
So pretty outdoorsy, bike-focused family then.
Yeah. My dad's bike addict. He likes buying bikes.
Did he compete or race at all? Like you mentioned he did when he was younger, but was he higher level or?
No, not high level for anything, I don't think. I know he did a few races BMX as a kid, and I think he raced some like motocross stuff. Not really sure what kind he raced, but it was like, I think it's like the more going through the bush kind of motocross stuff that he raced. Yeah, I know my brother still does a lot of motocrossing now.
Okay.
I think they only just got back from the motocross shop. Car came in before.
Are you and your brother quite competitive then? Like if you're ever on the bike together?
Yeah, he's a lot faster than me, obviously, but I always like to tease him saying that I'm faster than him and stuff. I'm not. Yeah, he's definitely a lot faster. But yeah, it's good having him to train with, and that pushes me to try and try and beat him and chase him, and he's good for like jumps and that because he's basically fearless. He just goes into stuff that I look at and I'm like, okay, and then I'll do it and that's pretty easy, to be honest. But anyway, he's helpful with that kind of stuff.
Yeah, that's so sick. Have you been competitive like your whole life with him, like with every part?
Yeah, every little thing is a competition with us too.
That obviously helps in a way, right?
Yeah, definitely makes me want to do better at things.
I looked at Roots and Rain before the episode, and I was like going through your results and stuff, and it seems like you were pretty much at the top for a long time. But for some races, it was quite a small field. Was it a bit different going from like a bigger field of BMX girls and women to a small field in mountain biking, I guess?
Yeah, I find like in the SEQ where I am, there's not many girls that race at all. So some races it'd just be me, and then some races would be maybe 2 of us, 3 of us. But like you find it's really embarrassing going up on the podium by yourself. It doesn't feel like you won it. It's just like So I normally found myself like time trialing myself against like the older girls or the boys, seeing where I'm sitting with that. So yeah, you just kind of have to rely on the times instead of your own category sometimes, because they wouldn't let me race up in elites in all the races, like in the local rounds. So I just had to wing it.
Yeah, it's one of the most annoying things about the insurance is that you can't race up a level because there's so many young kids that could and would be very competitive up there.
Yeah.
Do you remember how your times kind of went compared to the older groups or the male groups?
With the elite women near me, I was normally beating them. I think there might have been a couple times where someone might have beaten my time, but most races from when I was like, under 15s all the way to now, I'm beating like the local elite women. But, there's not much I can do about that, I guess.
Was that, did that mean you had kind of eyes from outside sponsors and stuff on you fairly early as well, or?
Not really, to be honest. My first sponsor was second year under 17s when I kind of picked up KWT. I had Maxis and Kenny and Fun and all that stuff for like 2-ish years. Yeah, so they came to me at a local race and kind of like, feel pretty good. I was like, okay.
Easiest deal ever, right?
Yeah. So they've been pretty good support for the last 2 years. So it helped me out a bit, especially with tires. Go through tires so quickly.
Yeah, and with the cost of them these days, that's like a solid chunk of money. What was it like having brands like that come up to you and ask or take notice in you? Was it a big confidence boost, or were you a little bit taken back? Or
I think it definitely helped my confidence. I was like, oh, I'm actually getting people to notice me. But I've always kind of been a little less confident on that side, but no one notices me back then. And it's kind of like, And then when people started to like recognize my name, people started to like know who I am. I was like, whoa, people know who I am. Yeah, it's pretty crazy.
It's funny because like when I first came out here, had nothing to do with results because I was shooting Threadbo, I think, and it was Duke Millington, Ellie Smith, and then you came behind him, and I had no idea. And then you just ripped the corner so hard. It was so sick.
Yeah.
And had to kind of scout out your race number and find out who you were. But that was, it's definitely your style that kind of got a few people's ears up for the start, for sure.
Yeah. I can either be like really good on the bike or I can be extremely sketchy on the bike.
It's a good thing. It's good to be able to like get loose and ride like that.
Yeah. How had a few tumbles over the last few years just because I'm either riding too fast into a corner or something, or just not paying attention.
I still remember at Eagle as well, like you threw the biggest whip on that last hit out of everyone.
Yeah, have a good photo of that.
Yeah. And that was, it was so good to kind of watch and see like just your bike handling skills. So that must have come from that BMX
most likely.
Well. Yeah. I guess like you mentioned you've had a few injuries as well. Like last year would have been one of the biggest ones in the worst timing possible, right? With your collarbone.
Yeah, it was the absolute worst timing, and probably one of the biggest injury I've ever had. It was like 4 days before I was meant to head overseas for the first like 3 World Cups. I decided I'm going to do this local race, just go see people before I leave and stuff like that. And seating run. I got through the hardest chute in the track, and then it was just the jump section, and whenever jump that was kicking people throughout the day, but it hadn't kicked me yet, and it kicked me in my seating run straight out of the bars, slam into the floor. I was instantly knew there was something wrong with my shoulder because it was so much pain. And it was bulging out the side of my shoulder, so it was great. But
what was the recovery like for that one? Well, I mean, first off, like, what's it like wanting to go to the World Cups and you look down, you got bone sticking out of your shoulder?
I remember I was on the floor, and then the other girls came up behind me and they're like, oh yeah, you've crashed and whatever. And I was just bawling my eyes out, not because I'd broken something, because I was like, the Europe trip, oh no. I was just crying. I was like, oh, you're an idiot. So hard on myself. And it's just almost awful feeling. I was like, oh, I've just blown my chance. And my parents were like, it's okay, we can reschedule, you can heal up, you'll be fine. I think in a way it kind of worked in my favor-ish.
Well, it was like just in time for World Champs as well, right? Like your healing was pretty much like 2 weeks or a week before World Champs.
Yeah, so I broke it, and then probably broke it on Saturday or Sunday, someday on the weekend. And then that next Friday I had surgery on it, and it got pushed back in place. And then we found out I had also done some ligament damage. It's like, great, add that to the list. But I was back on the bike within 2 weeks after surgery, so 3 weeks altogether.
Oh, really?
It was a bit of a slow process getting back on the bike and getting some strength back into it, and even now it still causes me a little bit of pain, but I can't do much about that either. So, but I think it was like 8 weeks after I broke it was world titles. So first race back was world titles, and
First race back after a collarbone, you've done the shoulder, and then you go on a Fort William for Worlds. Like, was there much weighing on your head or weighing on your brain at the time before you went over?
Well, I think ever since I broke my collarbone, I've lacked a lot of confidence in like my jumping now. I'm not usually scared of jumps, but now I'm like a bit more timid about them. So I need to still build that confidence back, I guess. But going straight into like one of the hardest tracks, like so rough and rocky and long, so the fitness needs to be there. And I did not have the fitness. And like, nerves and the high stakes and stuff like that. I probably didn't perform my best, and I just kind of let all the pressure get to me, I think.
Yeah, right. Because that was your first like international race for mountain biking?
Yeah, for mountain biking. It was probably my first ever international race, big race to go straight into as well.
In like one of the meccas of mountain biking, which is Fort William.
Yeah. That track.
I was going to say, describe the track and how it kind of felt, and then I guess like how it differs from what you'd usually ride up in the SEQ.
I think like nothing at SEQ compares to it at all. Like all our tracks are really tight and kind of, dusty and like sharp rocks and gravel and stuff. But think of like Threadbow, but a lot longer and probably a bit more rocks. Kind of like that.
Exactly what I don't want.
Yeah. It was a fun track though. I was going really good on it in practice, and I was gaining speed, and I was feeling really confident in seating and everything. I got fifth in seating. Qualifying seating kind of thing. They'd I don't know if it was qualifying or seeding because they kind of cut it from, it was top 15 going through and then they made it top 30 going through. So most of us made it through anyway. But yeah, I was feeling really confident seeding. And then the next day, all the nerves came to me. I was freaked out, kind of cameras everywhere. You know, the Aussie team is all like, oh yeah, you can do it on that. I'm like, oh my God, the pressure. And yeah, just rode so bad. I was riding stiff. I just wasn't going as good as I was going the other day. And it was not the best race.
What, I guess, like, was there much support from like the Oz team? Like, what pressure were they kind of putting on you and stuff like that? Like, or was it mainly just from them saying, yeah, well done, you've kind of put pressure on yourself now? You know what I mean?
Well, they were all really supportive. Like, we had a good coach, like, telling us lines and stuff. He was up on the track and helping us out. All the I don't know what the word is. The other, like, we had a physio there, and we had like the head of the team, and they were like really supportive up at the start gate with us. I think there was 3 of us girls, I believe, up to the top for the race run, and they were like with us, you know, getting us warmed up and stuff. They had pretty good support, and you just do what you can do and stuff like that. But you know, just let myself get to me, I guess.
You ended up 12th, which is still pretty solid.
Yeah, I was kind of hoping to like maybe get into the top 10, but you know, maybe if I rode a bit better, I could have got into the top 10. Just rode so bad.
I mean, it's easy to say, right? Like, it's easy to race bikes. You just go faster than everyone else. Like, simple, right?
Yeah.
What was it like coming over the final jump and then coming into that finish crowd? Was there quite a big crowd down there, or like what?
Yeah, there was probably less of a crowd for the juniors, obviously, but there was still a lot of people there. You come in and like say your name over the thing, and then you look up at the board, and you just. I was watching people, and there were people coming down and just starting to beat me, and I was like, oh, not fast enough. Yeah, it's kind of a bit gutting, but also it was like, just, you know, it's your first race back from an injury, you're overseas for the first time, just kind of keep your head up. It's always like, I had like 4 more races after that just to prove myself. That's kind of keeping it calm in front of the crowd and that, and you know, yeah.
And then, like, after that, you went to your first World Cup, I guess, because it was World Champs. But then you went to, was it Ludenville? Was after that?
Well, before the next World Cup, we went to a French Cup in Châtel, and then I got second at that one. So it was a bit of a confidence booster for me, and I was like, okay, I can compete with these guys. I have the speed there. The speed is there. I just need to focus on myself. I loved that track. That track really suited me, and I could go fast on it. Very rooty, kind of dusty track. So it was going pretty all right on that. Except for when it rained one practice day. That was awful. So slippery. But yeah, went from that into Andorra. And Andorra, I was like, the track's very, you know, jumpy, kind of that Aussie kind of style dirt, all the dust. So I was kind of used to that kind of stuff, knowing how to like lead into the corners, the traction of that slidey kind of dirt. So I did pretty well there, I think. But same thing on race day, I kind of was riding a bit stiff and kind of still a bit nervous and that. But I was definitely better than Worlds. But yeah.
Is that the one where the weather cancelled something? Oh no, that was when they cancelled the men's semis, I think.
I think it was like raining and like too windy up the top or something. So they got rid of the semis for the elites and cut out a jump. It was like a big ramp kind of jump into a big corner. Yeah. And I think Camille Balanche crashed on it, knocked herself out or something. Yeah. I think a girl in my age also knocked herself out or something on the same jump. But a few people were crashing on it. So they cut it out for the elites because it was too windy. Yeah.
What was it like hitting those bigger jumps, like the bigger drops and stuff over there?
Scary. I had I had no one else to ride with, so I was towing myself into everything and like trying to like just get it in my mind. It's like, you know how to jump, you can do it. Just go into them, don't look back, kind of thing. Yeah, it was kind of hard with the bigger features because normally I have my brother to tow me into things, or I'm riding with other people and they help me get into the bigger jumps and that. But over there, it was all on me. I had to do it all myself, so I had to figure out how to do that. Um, so yeah, I guess I figured it out in the end. But
I'd say so. That was a solid. I think a fifth on that one, and
yeah,
then on to Ludenville, where it was. That's the one that was rained out and they cancelled juniors.
yeah, Ludenville was an alright track. It was a bit flat in some sections, and some sections were a bit questionable because it kind of went through another track. But overall, the track was pretty good. Yeah, the day of racing, so we did qualifying the day before, and it was all good. I think I qualified in 7th. Yeah, 7th.
Yeah, you would have.
And day of racing, it rained all night. It was kind of still raining in the morning, I think. And we did one practice lap, and the track was so slippery. There's just like cues of us stopping before like big chutes and just sliding down them, basically. Like you'd be lucky to make it down. And there was this one big chute, and we were all lined up just taking it one by one going down. Some people make it down, some people like fall off halfway and just slide. It's kind of funny to watch, to be honest.
It did look like fun in some ways, for sure.
Yeah. Track, in my practice runs on that track before the wet weather day, I was crashing my brains out.
Yeah, right.
Crashing like everywhere. I had a few big stacks in that crash. It was kind of frustrating because there was like a few little sections that were hard to keep up on the hill because they would just be off camber to like nothingness. And I fell into the fence, the same fence, like 4 laps in a row. It's so bad. There's one marshal every time watching me just go straight into the fence every single time. I'm like, oh, it's so embarrassing. I think I got it on.
There's nothing like that here, right? Like there's nothing like that in Oz.
Yeah. It's really easy to crash on those tracks, especially like even if you're going fast or you can just be going slow, you can crash no matter what. I think there was another time like I went straight through a corner, through a bush to the other side of the track, and I was like stuck underneath my bike. My head was like underneath my bike, and the marshal was just kind of looking at me. He was like, "You good?" And I'm like, "No, I can't move. Help."
What were your kind of thoughts when they went off quali results for that race then?
It was kind of a bummer. They should have like at least let us, switch tires, take off our mud guards and try it again, because everyone was running dry tires and mud guards, and like, obviously mud guards stop your wheel from moving if it's that cloggy kind of clay mud. So that was me. I think I was on like an Ed Masters video or something trying to get up like a hill. My mud guards all clogged up.
Yeah.
Great. But yeah, they should just let us, try it with the, wet weather tires and stuff and just see how we were going, and then maybe like ask for our opinion on it, because they didn't ask any of the juniors. They just kind of went, nah. Yeah,
right. Yeah.
Anyway.
Oh, well, they might learn from their mistakes this year.
Hopefully they won't cancel another race. Just let us ride.
But it was sorry?
It would have been like a good race to like watch, even if it won't be like a fastest person down the hill. It's like whoever can get down the hill basically and try and stay on your bike as much as it probably would have been quite fun for spectators to watch, but entertainment wise.
Yeah, 100%. I was keen to watch it.
Yeah.
But then you went to what was it after that? Leger.
Yeah.
So you've hit all the good downs like for your first World Cups, and then scored a second. Like, were you expecting that or?
Not really. I loved that track though. I think that's the only track out of all the tracks that I wasn't crashing my brains out on. Like I was dialed on it. It was very, very Aussie dirt like, and like roots and kind of dust. And I was I was feeling really confident on that track. I'd like lost all the nerves previously, and I just was in the vibe, I guess. And yeah, I think I qualified through in 5th or something.
Yeah, around that. Yeah.
Yeah. And yeah, I was like, okay, I'm in 5th. Just stay in the top 5 and see how you go tomorrow. So race day, I'm pumped up, like, you know, a bit nervous, but I'm just breathe, calm down. You know how to ride. You know how to ride again. And I just let it go as fast as I can. Sprinted like crazy in the last section. I was like, oh, geez, I didn't know how I could pedal that hard. I was watching like the watching the playbacks, and it's like, wow, I actually did pedal a lot in that section. Yeah, I had a few moments in that run though. There was like one moment where I nearly went off the track, and I was like, oh, that could have been bad. And I think I got bucked on one of the jumps, like for like nose.
Yeah, right.
I think that was on the live stream, and the commentator's like, "Oh, bit of a launch there."
But yeah, like second place and also fastest in the speed trap. Like
yeah,
6 and a bit K.
Yeah, it was pretty crazy. The whole feeling of it. I was sitting on the hot seat, just watching the rest of them come down. I'm like, oh my god, I was sitting in first for a bit, and then I got pipped down to second, and I was like, oh, I'm still in second as they kept coming through. I'm like, oh my gosh, yeah, it was like unreal watching everybody. There's like a screen behind the fence of the hot seat, and we're just watching. Us 3 girls were all watching the screen, like, oh god, we're going to be on the podium, we're like, what's going to happen? And the last girl came through, and I was still in second. I just see my mum in the crowd. She's jumping up and down, like, oh my god. I was like, I started crying. I was like, no way. So it's pretty, unreal experience.
That's
and
sick.
The crowd's like huge, and they're all cheering. And you got who won? Roa Sanchez. She was like over the moon, and I was so happy for her. And the girl in 3rd, I think that was also her first podium, and she was so happy, and it was just like an amazing feeling. Like, it's crazy.
Would have been sick.
Yeah.
That's
wow.
so good.
I actually got on the podium at a World Cup. This is in my dreams.
And then did you stick around for the elites, obviously? Because 2 Frenchies winning in Leger would have been wild.
It was crazy. The crowd's like, you can't see any of the ground. It's just people all over the end hill. It was insane. And then when like he came through and he won, just stormed the track. They were all like basically chasing him down like the finish line. It was crazy. Oh yeah, they're all singing their little anthems, waving flags around. They got banners, and it's insane.
Is that like your exposure to what Euro mountain biking is, and like how passionate everyone over there is? Like, would have been mind blowing.
Yeah, at the other races it wasn't that crazy, but at Leger it was unreal. So many people.
And you didn't head over to the US? Was that just for just too much, or
like... running out of money and had to go back to school, stuff like that. Had to finish school off, sadly.
That's the insane thing though, is like you're over racing World Cups and putting in the training and stuff while you're at year 12. Like,
yeah,
was it hard to prioritize which one's which and what you kind of had to do?
No, I was nearly finished school anyway, and I basically finished one of my assessments. But by that point, I was basically just like over school. I don't want to do this anymore. I just get my final assessments done, hand them in, and then I had to go back and then do 2 exams. And I was basically just finished and back to training. But yeah, school wasn't that bad, to be honest. Like, pretty flexible with it. My attendance last year was so bad though. That's always so much.
I know another guy that was doing year 12 through, or doing school while racing World Cups. I think it was below 30% or something silly. Like, just never there.
Yeah.
But you still managed to get your like certificate and everything like that.
Yeah. So I got my what's it called, QC certificate or something like that.
Yeah.
So passed good school. That's good, I guess.
I mean, you finished now, so you can just focus on training and stuff like that. Are you
getting trained or have a trainer with the new team, or?
Not sure. Like, I've never had a coach before, to be honest.
Okay.
Like, my dad just helps out where he can, and even now he's getting a bit slow. He's gonna watch this and be like, "I'm not slow." Yes, But when I was a kid, obviously he was a lot faster than me, so he helped me and my brother out a lot. Basically trained us up, like taught us everything we know, I guess. So it's definitely a big part of everything. Very supportive, both my parents.
But yeah, I mentioned it there. You're on a new team this year, like on the Scott bikes. I think your social story about like guessing which bike it was and the way you drew that frame was amazing.
I think I was annoying a few people. They're just like, tell us. What's the fun in that?
But how did that kind of come about? Did they scout you out at the World Cups last year, or did you approach them, or?
So last year was very much about, I was talking to everyone I can, like emailing basically every team possible, getting my name around, talking to everyone in person. But actually, we didn't actually talk to the Scott team in person. That's like the only one we did talk to in person. But we're talking to some other teams, and I think one of the managers from one of the other teams talked to the Scott manager, and then we started emailing the Scott manager, and he was kind of like, yeah, and then we sorted out a deal, and then here we are.
Whose idea was it to kind of chase down teams and put yourself out there?
Mainly Dad. Dad pushed me a lot to like go talk to people. I suck at talking to people, to be honest. I do this like weird, when I'm in person, I do like a weird like little giggle thing when I'm talking, like so bad. But yeah, I was getting
can't say I've ever noticed, but yeah.
Yeah.
So how hard was it to put yourself out there and talk to these big teams? Like,
nerve-wracking. Like, I just have to walk up to the tents and then ask whether, like, because I've been emailing them before I even went overseas, and ask where the manager was and if they were around, and then have to go talk to them. And then, it's scary. But after I've been talking to a few of them a few times, and I kind of got used to it, I guess, and less nerve-wracking.
But that's got to be like a huge part as to why you've managed to get this opportunity, right? Is because not many people understand or realize like the importance of going and talk to someone in person and network like the way you did.
Yeah. I mean, at the end of the day, it's not what you know, it's who you know. So you just gotta, know as many people as you can and get people to know you. So that's what I tried to do.
I mean, your results probably helped as well.
Yeah, I'd say that definitely helped. Yeah.
So what does this year on that team kind of entail? Do you know much about it? Like you're obviously still on the Gambler this year.
Yeah, so I'm getting the new Gambler for this year, the white and green or yellow. I think it's yellow, green and yellow. Those colored, that one. So I'll be getting that when I go overseas. I'll get all my other gear and stuff like that. Yeah.
You're pretty relaxed about it all, like.
Yeah, all the excitement's kind of chilled down now. I was jumping for joy when the contract came through. I was like, oh my God. Well, like, what a better brand. So I'm already riding one of their bikes. It's like crazy.
I was going to say, it's like an easy transfer for you. Like you're already on pretty much everything they're running, right?
Yeah, basically. Like with the Maxxis tires and stuff. And I think we're running Kenny Close still. So
sick.
Yeah.
And who else is on the team with you?
So in the academy section of the team, we got two other riders. We got Vicky Clavel. She's like a second year elite female.
Okay.
And then you got Hugo Marini.
Mm-hmm.
He's first year elite, I think.
I think so, yeah. He's pretty quick, eh?
Yeah, he's pretty quick.
Yeah.
That's gonna be interesting being on like a team that all speaks French.
Just
I'm
learn
gonna be like
French.
sitting there like, yeah, I suck at learning languages. I'll try.
Immersion is key. When you have to speak it, that's when you learn it. It's like, yeah,
Lots of Duolingo lessons.
yeah, pretty much. And you've got marine caribou as well, like kind of around as well, and that.
Yeah.
And Flow Pay is going to be kind of managing it, so that's some like pretty big experience, right?
Yeah, it's going to be pretty cool being around those pros and that. Pretty unreal, to be honest. Like normally watching them on live streams and stuff, and then I'm going to be, right near them. Hopefully get to talk to them and stuff.
I think you probably will, eh?
Yeah.
And you're going to all the races this year? I mean, it seems
Yeah.
like it's mostly Europe and then one US race, if I'm correct. But
yeah.
yeah.
So doing all the season this year. I think we're doing some of the French Cups as well.
Okay.
Because I think that's on the team calendar, doing French Cups. I'm not sure.
You're just going to Europe and riding your bike.
Just doing whatever they want me to do, I guess.
You just answered yes to everything, right? And just, yeah, well, I'll do it. Yeah.
I'll do it.
Sick.
I'm in.
Yeah. What you're going to be away for almost like 6 months or something like that throughout the year? Is that like your biggest stint away from home?
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Last year was the longest I've done so far, but now it's 6 months instead of, I think I was away for like 2 months last year.
Mm-hmm.
So.
And you're going to be solo this time? Are your parents going over at all?
Mum will be around, so she'll be coming with me. Bit of a girls' trip. She'll be hanging about just in case I need a parent around.
Yep.
I don't turn 18 till June, so I'll still be underage in that for a while over there. Yeah.
Yeah, for most of the countries, probably.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's wild. Were you just like, Mum, do you want to come to Europe with me? And she didn't have to think about it at all and just said yes.
It's more like, I'm coming with you no matter what. But, yeah.
You didn't even need to ask.
She wants the girls' trip.
She's packing her bags before you even walked in the room.
She's ready. Yeah.
I guess like you've seen what it's like over in Europe and how you've got to that team, but what's it been like in Oz and trying to build up towards that goal? Is it a bit difficult or has it been easy? Like, I guess what are your thoughts around how it's been for you?
It is a little difficult because, well, once again, I don't have many people to race over here. This year I've got some good competition for nationals and stuff, so that should be interesting. But like last year and that was kind of hard, especially locally, stuff like that. But just been gym nearly every week, every week, nearly every day, should I say? Getting on the bike at least 3-4 times a week. Just doing a lot of training as much as I can. Trying to get my mindset clear, build confidence in like my jumping again. Stop chickening out of things. So I keep doing that a lot. A lot of features that I've been to tracks and I'm just like, oh, do I need to do it? Like it's like I should be doing it, not need to. I should be doing that jump. But anyway.
Which races are you doing in Oz this year? Just Cannibal Nationals? Are you not coming to Adelaide? But you going
No, I'm only doing the Cannibal race. I'm not doing full Cannibal this year. I'm just doing downhill in the whip off. And then I'm doing nationals and then going overseas. So
did you do whip off last year?
Yeah, I think I've done whip off the last like how many years I've been doing it.
5 years or something.
It's like around 5 years since 2018.
Last year's whip off was wild, and some of the girls were just throwing down. It was so sick to watch.
Yeah, it was crazy. Yeah, I need to improve my whips a lot more. I'm good at just doing the jumps, but whips not my strong point.
I disagree. Who have been your kind of inspirations and stuff as you've kind of grown up riding and getting into mountain biking?
Well, I guess my dad mainly. And then just watching all like the elite women on the live streams, like Tani Seagrave. I love Tani Seagrave. She's so cool. Like Nina, and then Valli Hoel comes in. All those girls, so cool. Like, so just watch and see ride, especially in person. Seeing them ride in person is crazy. Being like near them is like, oh my god, fangirling. I remember at Worlds, when I first like walked past Tiny Seager, I was like, oh my god, it's her. I was freaking out. Yeah.
What's it going to be like racing against Valli at Cannonball then? Or racing the same track as her there?
Scary. See where I am in the elite field, I guess.
Because are you elite this year or are you
next year?
Okay. Yeah.
So I got to start, trying to get times that are somewhat competitive with the elite women, which is going to be interesting. What was a fly on my screen?
Yeah, right. So this is are you kind of nervous to prove yourself in your final year of juniors, or are you just basically looking at it as a transition to elite anyway?
I've got a lot to prove. Like there's a lot of pressure for this year. Like I want to hopefully continue contract, and then I got to, know that I'm going to do at least half decent next year. So I just gotta go as best as I can this year would be great.
What's the contract? Is it just a 1-year contract for you then, or is it?
I'm not really sure. It's like one of those 1+1 contracts. So if I do well enough, it might continue. But I'm not really sure on all the little details.
You just said yes. It's like, where's my pen? Silencing.
Yep.
Might start wrapping things up a little bit here. For anyone that's kind of looking to do well at racing or get into racing, perhaps any female or anyone, what advice would you have to that crew?
Well, first, before you start racing, make sure you can actually ride tracks, get your jumping skill down, feel confident on the bike, and then maybe just start doing your local rounds, seeing how you go in those, start building confidence, do that for a couple of years or something. And then once you feel pretty confident, maybe go up to national level, state level kind of thing, and then just go from there, I guess. Yeah. I don't really know.
Is there anything you'd change or regret up until now?
Obviously regret breaking my collarbone, but I don't know, because I feel like if I didn't break it, then I might not have done the last 3 World Cups, and I might not have done as well, and all the different things could have changed. So I don't know. I don't really regret anything, to be honest. Yeah, I don't think I would change anything.
And I guess when you're not motivated to train, or everything's a little bit harder to do, such as race or jump on the bike or something like that, is there any music or anything you do to kind of get amped up and get riding, or go to the gym, or do something you don't need to do when you're low on motivation?
But on the most hyped up music possible. Just start you're fine. You need to be doing training. Come on. Get it through your head. You're an athlete now. Come on.
What's the most hype? What are you kind of listening to?
Oh, geez. I don't know. Don't really have any specific songs that I remember.
What genre? Any genre specifically?
To get hyped up, it's normally either there's fast-paced pop songs or hardcore rock songs.
Yeah, sick.
Just screaming at you.
Yep, good. Yep. That's so sick.
Yeah.
Rad. Is there anyone you'd like to thank, or anyone you'd like to mention before you kind of wrap things up?
Oh, I like to thank my parents for always supporting me throughout my whole life, basically. My brother for being annoying as he is, but still, helping me ride and train and stuff. Hoping he does well in the future as well. I like to thank, my sponsors in that. Amazing opportunities they've given me. Scott and KWT still helping me out. Thank them all. Yeah, thank you for having me on here.
It's all right, easy. We'll wrap things up with that then. Thanks so much for coming on. Hopefully we might even touch base this time next year or something after your first year and see how you went and chat again.
Sweet.
Easy. Well, yeah, again, thanks so much and enjoy the rest of your weekend.
Thank you. You too.
Bye. I've got to hang up this.
There we go, guys. That was the latest episode. I hope you enjoyed it with Sacha there. She's going to have a huge 2024, I believe. Going to be rad to see her over on the World Cups and traveling throughout Europe. As usual, thanks to Trek, Franked, Shred Bike Care, Fist Handwear, Lead Out Sports, Capped Out, and Oakley for keeping this podcast going. Thanks to you guys for listening and keeping it going as well. Appreciate your patience while I was moving and we were a bit late on this one. If you want to support the potty, share it amongst your mates. Jump over to YouTube, subscribe there because we'll start uploading them there a bit more now as well. Leave reviews, likes, do all those influencer things. It does help a lot. I know it's as cringe as anything, but it does help get the potty out there. Let your mates know about it, etc. Anyway, until the next one, just go out and have a bunch of fun.